TikToker and YouTuber Tash Peterson took things too far. She enters well-known stores like Louis Vuitton, KFC, and McDonald's to fight for her beliefs, but her actions have the public outraged.
So, vegan booty. I feel like everybody knows exactly who we're talking about when we say this. In fact, she's made videos on me in the past, so I feel like speaking about the vegan teacher's daughter is pretty relevant. Now, I'm actually watching this on a channel called Spill. Now, I'll leave a link, obviously, in the description. Full credit for this amazing video, generally, in the link down below if you want to go and check them out. We, unfortunately, have past experience with this person.
Most hated activists, that vegan teacher.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Hello. Hey, Mom. How you going?
I'm doing great.
I thought you were going to be topless in this one. Very disappointed.
Yeah, straight off the back, we're not disappointed. Vegan teacher, please keep your top on. Please, thank you. You know it's bad even when the vegan teacher had like a realization for a second there, like, oh, the fuck? I'm just saying, it's bad when the vegan teacher looks at you and says, you're a little bit weird.
The police came knocking on my door. This isn't the first time the police have come to my house to issue me with some kind of ban.
Now, it's true, actually. Tasha did get banned from her own country. We made a video on that. Definitely go check it out after this video, where she recites as living in Australia. And look, again, you know you're not on the right path when your own country tries to just completely ban you, like a Discord mod. Do I blame them for even a second? No, I feel like if we had Tasha in our country, please can you ban her? But with having said all of that, she has generally done some pretty shady and dodgy stuff. Now, I know it seems like with vegans, nothing they do could possibly go too far or too extreme. Even when, evidently, I find like a lot of the stuff that they actually do is pretty extreme. And I've been seeing all kinds of protests recently on TikTok. Ones that make more sense than others. I think I saw the other day a climate activist sabotage an oil truck, but it was a cooking oil truck. It's okay, we can't win them all. But it's interesting generally to just take a deep dive on this person because they have quite an interesting past.
In the past, we've looked at vegan activist Miss Katie, aka that vegan teacher, and seen her interesting ways of spreading the gospel of going vegan. From singing outside a McDonald's to making videos calling out YouTubers for practices she doesn't agree with.
Which again is completely true, right? Like, don't get me wrong, like making fun little TikToks and talking about this kind of stuff is completely fine. Like, obviously, freedom of speech. But like, she'll literally get mad at you and ask you to change your religion just so they can become vegan. Like, how ignorant and arrogant do you have to be to actually believe stuff like this? And also in the past, completely discouraging people that maybe have food allergies or certain things where if they were to have low iron in their body, they would generally die. Where apparently they even had something like that. And again, when someone comes to you on the internet and says that their friend died from low iron deficiency from veganism, and you just laugh it off straight away, like when you're in your 60s, isn't really the best response to have in my opinion, but that's what the vegan teacher did.
McDonald's to making videos calling out YouTubers for practices she doesn't agree with, Miss Katie's way of getting her message across has been unique. The vegan...
It's been unique, all right. Also, I don't understand, like, what actually is the policy behind TikTok. If you get banned once, are you just allowed to make a second account and just carry on? Or do they just not police that kind of stuff? Because I know on YouTube, right, if you get banned off YouTube, you're generally not allowed to come back on the site. I know there's like a few loopholes. For example, Keemstar came back on YouTube, even though he's banned from YouTube. But he technically says that it's not his channel, his daughter owns it or something like that. So it's technically not Keemstar's. Has Miss Karen done something similar? Is Ryan, her son, the one who's taken over her channel? And yes, I find like a lot of the videos she's done, you have to kind of give some credit to her in terms of like creativity, because she's done like so much like stuff in terms of songs and everything like that. And then also doing the whole teacher thing. Like, do you remember when she had that little phase where she would just kind of grade people? And look, it kind of got everyone's attention. Even people like PewDiePie replied to her. And you still got people making videos on her. Big YouTubers like SunnyV2 literally dropped a vegan teacher video a few weeks ago, which is just crazy. So, I mean, having said all of this, she's done it in a very smart way. And she generally knows how to push everyone's buttons. Like, when I make these videos, I'm not stupid, right? I'm not just jumping into this, knowing in the back of my head that this isn't what she wants. Like, obviously, she wants this this kind of stuff. Obviously, she says the outlandish stuff, so people will react to her content and get her pushed out there. It's kind of the business model of like Jake Paul or something. And she's been very smart with that. But the issue is, like, get banned on TikTok, you get banned on platforms like even like Andrew Tate. Obviously, what she's saying isn't quite as extreme as him. But the point lies, when you're that extreme, you're just gonna definitely ruffle a few feathers and it will come back to bite you in the ass.
Influencer we're talking about today has a much more shocking way of sharing her message. Her YouTube page used to be filled with concerts, surfing, and vacations. Around 2 years ago, Tash began to post videos talking about veganism. At first, her protests weren't too grotesque. She would wear a cow onesie and stand in the dairy aisle with the sign exposing the dairy industry.
Now, like, even stuff like this, I just find when people are just finished with work, they're coming home and they need to pop into the shops to quickly get something for dinner, and they see something like this. Like, I just find you're never gonna win when your whole motto is to just annoy people. Like, again, pick your battles, but the way they go about it, just annoying people when they're generally trying to shop, dressing up in a cow costume, then spilling milk all over the floor, and then having to, in some cases, shut down the whole restaurant or supermarket. Like, that's just generally not gonna make people want to follow your beliefs. Do you generally believe Jerry, who went to the restaurant as a last minute thing with his family because he couldn't be bothered to cook, and now his whole family couldn't eat because all the other restaurants were fully booked up and they have no food at home tonight, is gonna be driving home thinking, you know what, actually they had a pretty good point. Yes, I'm annoyed that we're gonna have to go to bed hungry this evening, but I think I may become vegan. I'm glad this happened. No, that's like obviously never gonna be the case.
Grew more and more extreme. In July 2021, Tash and some other protesters went into a KFC and shocked patrons when they began to pour fake blood on the floor.
The largest and longest in history is happening right now in the meat, dairy and egg industries. 70 billion land animals are brutally murdered each year, along with 2.7 trillion marine animals. If you're not vegan, you are contributing to this, and you are an animal of KFC is responsible for this.
Jeez. Also, let's just quickly flip this as well. Say if you're a mother taking your small kid to McDonald's or KFC to get some food, and then you see this. Now, I've seen, like, generally in some of her videos, she'll have like a cow's head or like a pig's head holding, and they're like spraying blood everywhere. Bro, the children don't need to see this. Like, again, if you're gonna do this kind of stuff, like, do it maybe in the evening. Like, just, why are you having to do it at like 2-3 p.m. when all the kids are there? Well, the kids should see it. They should see it. They ought to see it. There's some bad stuff happening out there, Blaze, and the children need to see it. Yeah, no, not really. There's also a lot of other bad stuff in the world going on right now, but I wouldn't necessarily want to show children that either. Boys, if the vegans had it their way, they would have a Fine Bros React channel where they'd probably get 9 to 12-year-olds just watching animals be slaughtered. What did you think of that, Jason? Traumatized for life. You just saw Bambi get cut up.
Tash continued to explain the methods in which animals had their lives taken by the meat industry in graphic detail. This all happened while a screen was carried around showing graphic images of animals with sounds of animals in distress. Not long into the video, the police arrived to settle the situation.
Right, I'll turn that off for us. I think you've been here long enough for your protest.
Many people...
Oh yeah, and I completely forgot about this as well. And I've seen this in like quite a few vegan videos where they'll literally just grab a TV, walk around showing everyone, like, quite literally, the animals being slaughtered. Like at 2 p.m, where the kids are just, like, sitting there watching it, like, freaking out. Like, bro, what are you doing? It's the fact after that kind of stuff, they kind of get shocked and they don't understand why that's inappropriate. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I completely disagree with every single thing that they say. In fact, there are definitely some valid points that they make, but it's just, like, the way they go about it. And I know their whole argument is it has to be extreme, otherwise it doesn't get talked about. And, like, my counter argument for that is, but the way it's being talked about isn't exactly a good way either. Yes, people are talking about it, but they're always mocking it, or it's always on posts like Facebook and Reddit and stuff saying that these vegans got locked up, or it's just making people hate. Like, is that really what you want at the end of the day? Well, Blaze, we need people to talk about it, and this really is the only way to do that. Okay, sure, because that's worked so well for the past 10 years.
However, the police were already there, and once Tosh went inside, they escorted her out.
That's kind of funny though. Instantly denied. I like to think that took weeks to plan and it was over like that. Great. I love that. Good job, police. Well done.
Patrons came out to watch her, film her, or take pictures with her. At one point, a man came forward with a sign that said, "Meat is delicious," and protested in front of Tash.
Oh, and I can only imagine this went down well with Tash. And that's because we all know by this point, if you've been following along at home, Tash has a fantastic sense of humor. In fact, there's not many people on YouTube that have such a great sense of humor as Tash. I think she really is the only person with the best sense of humor, some say. Well, everyone laughs at her, so I assume that's what they mean.
Tash remained unfazed and continued to protest with her sign. Some trolled in the comments that Tash's actions made them want to eat meat even more. Why do I want to have a sandwich right now? I just want to load it up with a bunch of meat and I want to drink milk and eat some steak.
And that kind of goes back to the point I made earlier. Like, again, when you do this kind of stuff, you're really not making people want to join the cause or be like, yeah, I want to join that Tasha girl now. Like, after she denied me at McDonald's and also completely destroyed that workplace, I saw how calm and collective vegans actually are, and I think I want to be a part of that group now. Like, what the fuck? No, bro. Like, why would you want any association with those types of people that literally just go in there, start trashing the place, throwing paint everywhere, and destroying it? Like, what? No, I don't want to be a part of that group. Count me out, please. Thank you. And again, whenever I upload any of these videos, bro, the top comments, that's hilarious, by the way. The top comments are always stuff like, wow, delicious meat. I really want a steak right now. Hey, Blaze, I just had a big burger. It was fantastic. And that really do be the kind of people you are attracting when you do this kind of stuff, but yet they don't really seem to realize that. And I'm sure there's probably going to be vegans reacting to this video right now, like just not understanding what I'm saying. I'm giving you guys free advice right now. You should be taking it. You're welcome. No, Blaze, that's not good advice. We're going to carry on and do what we've been doing for years because it works very well. I'm vegan. I'm better than you. I wouldn't take advice from a meat eater such as yourself. Okay, whatever you say.
More risque ones. Tosh and a number of women protested the exploitation of animals while wearing lingerie.
Yeah, I bet that worked well. Yeah, it was really weird actually. Just like a lot of guys seem to be really interested in the vegan movement all of a sudden. I take that as a full success. Don't know why. Don't know what it was. Don't know what was happening. But they were like fully committed. They were just listening. Yeah, funny how that works, isn't it, Tash?
They called their protest a success and said the protest made more people open to talking about the cause.
Yeah, I bet it did. Well, like 95% of them were probably men. Yeah, the men seemed very interested. Oh my god, guys. Really? Really, though? Huh? Wow. And they say vegans aren't smart. It's just so funny to me. I literally don't even know how to react to that because that's actually pretty funny. Oh, okay, a great success. Yeah, well done, Tash. Killed it today out there. You killed it.
They did another protest where they were out in public in lingerie and ended up going topless to protest the exploitation of animals and to promote veganism.
And would you look at that, guys? It was even more popular than the first one, guys. I think we're onto something here. I think something's quite not adding up. The more clothes I take off, the more popular these protests are becoming. Only with men. Men seem to be really interested in veganism. Haven't got a clue why.
At one point, a little boy is shown walking past Tosh and her friend, shielding his eyes so he doesn't see them.
Didn't see anything.
Didn't see anything.
Many people were disturbed by the topless protest. So y'all go expose yourselves to people, especially children? Forget the message. The method is messed up. Imagine taking your kids out for dinner and you just see some crazy vegans topless in town square.
Yeah, that's all sad stuff. But did I tell you? I'm vegan, by the way. I'm vegan. That's very cool and swag. But have I told you I am actually indeed vegan? I'm vegan. They're allowed to do that, boys, because they're vegan. They are better than us. If we were to do that, that is disgusting. Ew. Look at these naked meat eaters. Ugh.
In public, and if she were seen in front of the district court, she could face up to 2 years in prison. If her case was seen in the magistrate's court, she could face up to 9 months in prison and a 9,000 Australian dollar fine, which is around $6,700 US.
She could buy a lot of burgers for that. For that price, guys. That's ooh-wee. Was it worth it, Tasha? Was it worth it? Now, she might be saying maybe if she got a few people to actually join the cause, but I'm guessing, and I've got a strong sense by all the videos I've been seeing recently. I don't think any people really joined the cause. Damn. So I don't think it was worth the $6,700 fine.
Some people appreciated Tasha's protesting. To all those trolls that say this is inappropriate and pointless, they are wearing underwear, which is basically the same thing as a swimsuit. It isn't inappropriate for them to take their top off in public. If fat men with bigger girls can walk around topless without being judged, then women should be able to do the same thing. This isn't pointless because this is raising awareness for veganism.
And there it is. There's always one person that's going to say a comment like that, guys. I didn't say it at the beginning because I knew somewhere there would be a comment like that. Now, they claim that, but I've actually seen some of these videos and no, not quite. She's definitely not wearing anything, so that's a little bit sus. Bro, she's just wearing body paint. Basically nothing. And that's all fine. I feel like no one particularly cares about that kind of stuff, but having said that, if my kids saw that, like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, if I saw a kid even see that, like, it's just kind of weird, is it not? Is that not like, can we not at least admit it's a tiny bit weird? I think we can. Now, something that I actually didn't personally know myself. Apparently, they did a, like, live stream together or a podcast or something. I didn't know that. I would have 100, you guys, you know me. I would have jumped on that so fast. But Vegan Booty was in fact reunited with her mother, the vegan teacher. And I'm generally actually seeing this for the first time. So I'm kind of curious to see how did they hit it off? Was mama vegan, proud of daughter vegan? Probably. They all love each other.
Other activists face the same scrutiny.
All this stuff. That if you were standing up for the rights of the LGBTQ community, do you think that you would have like that? Or if you were standing up for the dark-skinned community, do you think that you would get the hate that you do?
Definitely not.
Cause you're really standing up for, no one particularly cares. It's more the fact of how you're going about that. Like, again, if I was standing up for the LGBTQ community and I just walked into McDonald's and trashed the place and went, yeah, gay rights, no one's gonna care. Like, no one's gonna say, oh yeah, Topless, that's a good cause you just did that. No, like, they're gonna be angry at me. Why did you trash the place and walk in naked and throw paint everywhere? Like, it doesn't matter what cause you're trying to do there. I think I just feel like they're kind of missing the point on why people get mad with these types of people, especially the workers. Could you imagine, like, 5 minutes before your shift, you're just about to go home, it's the weekend. Oh man, finally I get to leave this hellhole of a job. I hear this noise all day. And I get to go, oh my god, what is that? That's just entered the door. A woman in body paint, dressed as a cow, throwing paint everywhere. Oh, are you kidding me? Looks like I'm going to be staying here for an extra 6 hours cleaning the paint. Yes, I think after that, I definitely want to become vegan now. I was unsure before because I was going to have a nice, relaxing, good weekend. But instead now I got to do overtime and deal with this. I think I want to become vegan. It was a good message. It was a good message that these people have done. And I want to follow the cause now. No!
Tosh thanked Miss Katie for the work she had done for vegan activists online.
But
Yeah.
I definitely agree with disruptive activism, and I think that you've done an absolutely incredible job disrupting the internet, literally. I just think you're the most powerful activist out there. I can't thank you enough.
Miss Katie
That reply. Oh, no, honey. I'm just a meme. This is a troll. This isn't even real. Oh, thanks, I guess. No, but again, having said that, like, Vegan Teacher has done a much better way, and we kind of got to respect that. Look, she definitely says some absolutely crazy stuff that we make fun of. Absolutely. But at least she hasn't gone into places and destroyed the place. Yes, she said some pretty ridiculous things, but she hasn't actually physically caused harm on any people spreading her message. You know what? And as a result of that, if you go onto her TikTok now, she doesn't even really need to delete all the messages because she actually has kind of a fan base at this point. Even myself, I don't really hate the Vegan Teacher. I'm not mad or anything at her. Like, those kind of TikToks are kind of funny. And some of them can spread a kind of a good message. Just some of them are just, like, obviously kind of over the top. But again, you got to respect the fact that she hasn't destroyed any places or places of work or been arrested for this kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess in that aspect, she is definitely a lot better than Miss Booty, her daughter.
approved. Tosh said she booked the next flight out and returned home safely. To celebrate her return, she said she was going to do another disruptive protest.
Now, I thought I'd give West Australia a nice little surprise that I'm back home, because most West Australians were in fact celebrating the fact that I could not return to my home. A lot of people despise me. They view me as a public nuisance. Some people view me as a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, weird. It's not like Vegan Booty's actually done anything, guys. Destroyed a workplace? No. What do you mean? These people are ridiculous. And you know what? Vegan Booty, I say go for it. There's no better way to come back home from a country that you've been banned from where you were born because you were disruptive and being a little shit, then to come back and be disruptive and say you have a cool little plan for West Australia for when you come back home. I'm going to speak for the Australian people here for a second and the government. I'm going to say they're probably going to really appreciate that. Probably not much going on in Australia right now, so they kind of need something like this, and I think they're really going to appreciate it.
And people just hate what I do so incredibly much that people were cheering and celebrating that I couldn't return home. I just thought I'd give them a beautiful surprise that I'm back by doing a disruptive protest, so I'm really excited to do that this weekend.
Why is Tasha just turning into the Joker at this point?
West Australia, you have exactly 12 hours to reply. Otherwise, I'm blowing up the West Harbour. Oh, you know the funniest thing? I've got a bucket of paint that I'm gonna put over McDonald's.
Yes, Tasha, very spooky. I'm sure all the Australians lock their doors at night just in case the Vegan Booty visits you during the night. You guys hear a little rustle outside your window. It may be her in a cow costume or cow paint trying to sneak in and throw a bucket of paint all over your living room. That's Australia's version of the boogeyman. Very scary stuff.
Be considered one of Australia's top disruptive protesters if she continues. But does disruptive and aggressive protesting really help the cause? Dr. Tyler Paitis, a research fellow in moral philosophy at ACU's Institute for Religion and Critical Inquiry, believes vegans and animal rights activists are often easily dismissed as social justice warriors. Given how pervasive meat eating is in the culture, and given the strong anti-vegan sentiment that I found both in the United States and here in Australia, I think it's very easy for people to dismiss vegans as crazy, self-righteous social justice warriors that don't need to be taken seriously.
We had to get a philosopher to say this, to really gather up this information. Guys, I've been saying it for years. I would have given that piece of information to you for free. Now, guys, I think people may not like vegans and they may view them as crazy. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think that's how people may be interpreting them. Anyway, boys and girls, that's it for today's video. It's always nice to catch up on the Vegan Booty lore. What has she been up to recently? I guess we've now found out that she's been unbanned from Australia and she's coming back to do her little shenanigans. Now, this actually happened about 6 months ago, so I'm kind of curious to see again what she's actually been up to since this. If you guys enjoyed today's video, let me know, and I might even do a part 2 where I actually might do some of my own research and look and see where she is today. Again, definitely go and check out the Spill channel down below. I really enjoyed this video. They put some amazing stuff together. It really was enjoyable reacting to this and giving my 2 cents. But anyway, boys and girls, hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.